Security in the Gumo train, they will be breaking down all the place.
Hello and welcome everyone to week 5 of the APL Insider. I'm your host Gadarian, and joining me again this week on my left, the Gumo train. What's going on, dude?
Oh, not too much, Guderian. I'm excited as usual to be here. Still a little thrown off by the fact that we're doing this on Sunday night, so that we're trying to recap matches from last week while current matches are happening. But I mean, just have fun with it and roll with it.
Yeah, you're right. I think just roll with it, and I think we were just in a bad time slot, honestly, with Friday night fights going off and not many people, to kind of tune in. I think we'll get more people to tune in and see the, last week's, and we can basically foreshadow a little bit of what we witnessed over the weekend without giving it all away.
Right. No spoilers.
No spoilers. And there's also the sponsor that you were telling me about. That I was so happy you told me.
Yeah, that's right. So obviously I'm still involved with the ECL a little bit, and I noticed this past week that they picked up Kwanzaa as their sponsor. So Kwanzaa now sponsors both the APL and the ECL.
That's great news. I'm hoping maybe that could branch out to even like seasonal and HCA as well. Like just be like the Hell It Loose sponsor, because I know their hardware is legit. I don't know if you were are you a server owner ever at one point?
No, but I've heard enough complaints to know that if you've got some good smooth running servers, that you should be thankful.
Yeah, G Portal, I'll call them out. Yeah, not a very good host. Hardware issues all the time. So I'm just hearing Kwanzaa is just really solid. They got high performing machines, and people are liking what they're getting, more value for their buck. So anyway, great. Yeah. That's great news. So
heck yeah.
And anyway, moving on, I guess we could just jump into the highlights of the week 5, starting with Division 4. I think you were the one that got this one.
That's right. Let's check it out. Starting off with Division 4, we had Ronin versus 10th Mountain. Now, very early in the match, we see 10th Mountain surge towards the initial cap, while Ronin uses more of a spread out approach. There's the cap. Boom. 10th Mountain captures WN7 for a 3-2 lead. After the initial cap, Ronin then swung around to the north side of WN7 and began to put a lot of pressure from this key position just outside of the circle, right up until they managed to squeeze their troops in there up there in the northeast. Boom. Ronin captures win 7. From here, there were several minor cap races, with 10th Mountain trying valiantly to retake the center point. However, Ronin was relentlessly attacking Hill 5. I mean, they slipped Tigers directly into the point several times, and while the 10th stopped several tank infantry pushes, the fact that Ronin had Tigers in the circle was basically ensuring that they're going to capture this. There was one spawn in right there, right next to Pec 13. Pretty sure he got the OP. Most of that spawn in as well. And there it is. After they captured Hill 5, Ronin already had troops in place down on the south edge of the map, ready to immediately put pressure on Uncle Red, and to take control of the trenches overlooking the beach into 10th Mountain South HQ. And while 10th Mountain did everything they could to stop Ronin, they were unable to prevent the 5-0 victory by Ronin. Running right past the infantry, and boom! There's the victory for Ronin. Whew. That was pretty intense. Waves of men, Bellion, you're gonna run right into them. Get some both. Get some both. Look at that. Look at that. Ronin just counterattacking directly into this attack. Zero fucks given. Yoda shooting at Bellion, maybe? Bellion takes out Clay. Yoda shooting down at the beast, gets shot in the back by Bellion. Bellion just pushed up the trenches, takes out an OP. Somebody stop Bellion. Somebody stop him.
Ronin definitely looking like the class of Division 4. They're 5-0 with that victory, and I don't know if anybody's going to beat them, to be quite honest. But anyway, moving forward to Division 3, we had ROTN Chad taking on Merciless on Herkin Forest. Midpoint was the Scar. And it was a great match, honestly. I picked this one because usually once one team gets that midpoint, it's pretty easy to box out. This changed hands a number of times. You can see right here, you have Chad and ROTN, Rangers of the North, coming back, getting 3-2 with about, I don't know, 10 minutes after Merciless takes. And it's just a grind. All the infantry just yeeting it into the strong point. And it stayed like this all the way until the 19-minute mark. And it almost looks like it's going to go in Merciless's hands here. They get it to about 98% cap. ROTN Chad does, or excuse me, I did get that wrong. They did cap him. My apologies on that one. But yes, not too long after that cap by Merciless at the 20-minute mark, here comes Rangers of the North Chad again. And it seems to be an issue where a lot of teams, and it surprises, I guess it's just the Division 3 and maybe even Division 4. There's so many times, Smithers is like the legend at this, of just having the caps go back and forth multiple times in a match. Like, super exciting for the audience. And yeah, after Rangers of the North Chad capped, they did hold on and secured that victory, and they're definitely going to be a team to be reckoned with in the playoffs. So, 3-2 is your victory right there for Rangers of the North Chad.
Now on to Division 2, we had The Line versus Winter Wind Warriors. Now, one thing we know about having Siegfried as the starting point is that it tends to favor the Germans, and so naturally, TL managed to get a hold of the initial cap. That being said, Winter Wind Warriors began to immediately and mercilessly counterattack, while TL struggled to hold them off and simultaneously attempt to infiltrate around the flanks of Call Trail. Winter Wind continued their aggression, focusing the vast majority of their strength right at the front door of Siegfried. I mean, they were throwing everything at it, and just about had it capped several times, causing TL to have to commit a number of their guys back to the defense. Then, at around the 38-minute mark, TL seemed to switch up their strategy from infiltration to a sweeping attack that removed Winter Wind from the front of Siegfried and established a more stable line that they tried to use to assault Call Trail directly. However, right as it seemed that they had Winter Wind on the ropes, W3 managed to slip in behind Siegfried, and it got really dicey for the last 10 or so minutes of the match. I mean, for what was essentially a 90-minute stalemate, these guys were really going hard at each other from start to finish, and I really did not know who would come out until the very end, when finally TL emerged victorious with a 3-2 lead over the Winter Wind Warriors.
And moving on to Division 1, we had basically a rematch. I think of the two we'll call them second best teams potentially in the North American scene. We had Helios taking on Syndicate, the map being Stalingrad, a real meat grind. The northern point, railway crossing, was our midpoint for this match. And Syndicate looked like they got out to a pretty good start, but in reality, they got one of their trucks stuck. So they weren't able to secure the top of the map, and that's where we're seeing the Panzer IV right below there. They control the main road. You're going to see it rolls out and takes the Syndicate light. And this right here, big moment. You're losing all that cap weight. And now the Panzer IV is just cutting any infantry that's trying to get into the midpoint. And you can see it's back and forth for a little bit. We're a little over, 10 minutes before the midpoint was captured by Helios. Again, Panzer IV, that was the big play up north in the 3. And that forced Syndicate to go further south to where the factory buildings are. And that's not the ideal way, because you can see further to the northeast, there's guys on top of the hill that were shooting down on top of them. So Syndicate was in a really tough position. And once they get pushed out with that Panzer IV, they pretty much stayed grinding, trying their best to get into the cap. But Helios basically just kept front dooring it, pushing harder and harder and harder, and forced Syndicate to relinquish any gains that they had gotten, and got that full reset. And it was quite a while before Syndicate, and as you can see, there's only about 13 minutes left. It took them literally 30 minutes to start to build up a presence. As you can see, they're building up the infantry, but once again, tanks. Wicks had his Tiger up top there, and Syndicate got real close, but not really able to, break that defense of Helios. And when they were all in, they were all in when I mean like no defense. As you can see, 4th point starting to be capped. And they just said, you know what, we're not even going to play defense. And a 3-2 close match, winds up slipping out of the grasp of Syndicate real quick here. They've lost all control of the sector on the House of Workers, which was this position. And I didn't load it up in the stream deck, so when you see it pop down in about 10 seconds, they go up 4-1. Helios goes up 4-1, and it was really no looking back after this point. It was just window dressing at this point. Syndicate tried their best to not let the 5-0 happen, but this victory pulls Helios even with Syndicate. Now, based on caps, I believe, number of caps, this puts Helios into 2nd position in the 1st division. So it's looking like these two teams are going to get reacquainted once the playoffs begin next week, or should I say this weekend. And we're going to see who is the team that's going to ultimately probably take on Esprit de Corps, the 2-time defending. Yeah, back to the studio. Let's get in there. So, Goom, I know we're not going to talk about the matches because we don't want to spoil anything, but you do kind of know a few things that just recently happened, and we definitely probably want to highlight the Vanguardia matches that Smithers is casting, actually, as we're doing this show right now live.
Yeah. As we're watching this live, we've all of us have kind of been keeping an eye on the Smithers match right now, and don't want to spoil it because we kind of did just figure out who the winner was going to be, but pretty wild,
Yeah.
pretty back and forth.
I'm saying it's that Division 3. It's the most exciting division in the APL to watch. The caps, your team could be down 2-3 late and come back and press. I mean, I'm impressed just watching it. And Smithers, you lucky bum, you keep getting these great matches, man. I get these grindy 3-2 fests. So yeah, as you can see, we've got the division standings up here with BNT Tog sitting atop 5-0. We got Chad, Rangers of the North, 4-1. Those two guys are playing extremely well. But like I said, there's those two other teams, Vanguardia and Merciless. You never can count those guys out. they've lost some close matches. Vanguardia, I think the week prior was winning on Utah 3-2, and then one sneaky. I want to say it was it was BNT Tog that stole a match late from them on Utah Beach. I think the point was WN7, that Southern Point. They got one of those Whammo Garrisons up, and Vanguardia could very easily be sit in second place if they didn't lose that match. So, and Merciless,
Right.
what do you think about Merciless?
In light of some of the drama that happened surrounding the name of Merciless through this season,
Right.
it's
All
hard
the
for me to
alts.
really say. It's hard for me to really say. They've definitely had some phenomenal matches that have unfortunately just been a little tainted.
Yeah, they came out the gates roaring 3-0, and they've lost a couple matches recently. So I'm wondering if they can find that form again as they walk into playoffs, and
That's right.
see if they
Yeah,
can shock some teams.
which speaking of the playoffs, they did kind of already happen, so we can just kind of run through them real quick and just let you know who played who.
Yeah, good idea. Let's do that.
So
You
we'll
want
go
to
ahead
kick
and
it
start
off?
off. Yeah, go ahead and start it off with Division One. We had the 5-0 Esprit de Corps was up against Gary Busters International. They
Mm-hmm.
played on Hill 400. It was casted by myself,
Yeah,
and
me.
it was a pretty good match. It was fun.
Hill 400 is an interesting one. It's not like one of those
Mhm.
normal meta maps. So the outcome, I think GBI plays well on those too. That's a grind. No, most teams don't like playing on it because it's very grindy. It's like you can't move very fast.
Sure.
You got to constantly bound
Mhm.
from like tree to tree. It's annoying, but I don't know. I think GBI of all the maps, this was probably going to be their best chance of beating the two-time.
It wasn't quite enough, though. Oh,
No.
anyways,
Anyways,
moving
moving
on.
on. Didn't hear that. We had Helios taking on our guys Syndicate, and the map was Omaha Beach. Mr. Do is your caster. Omaha Beach, one of those tricky maps for Syndicate. They beat IR during the regular season. They had the northern point, I think it was West Verville, and they shocked IR. And who knows? I mean, Helios to me is on a given day as good as any team out there. So I'm really interested in seeing what midpoint comes up, because if it's the church in the middle or if it's a AA battery to the south, you're going to have a real fun match. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. So definitely tune into that. Mr. Doobie, your streamer for that one.
Yeah, sometimes it just depends on what the lineup is for the points, how the match is going to go. Anyways, after that, for Division 2 semifinals, we had 3-2 Fallschirmjäger versus 4-1 Chimera. Took place on Carentan, and you can find that match under Das Altberg or Linkum.
I'm going to say Lincoln.
L1NK Linkum.
Yeah. The second semifinal match is the Line taking on the Winterwind Warriors. Map will be Herkin Forest. Caster will be Mr. Do again. And linked. L1NKM linked?
Linkum?
Linkum. Yeah, Linkum. That's our guy who's going to be casting. He'll be doing in Chinese if you guys are interested in catching some Chinese or working on your Mandarin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After that, for Division 3 semifinals, we had 5-0 Bad Intentions in the Old Guard up against 2-3 Merciless on SME. It was casted by Buttery Bits and DS Barbosa. So if you want to find out how Merciless did against Bad Intentions, see if they pulled their form back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely
Feel free to check them out.
And finishing up the Division 3 will be Vanguardia, the map that we just alluded to, taking on Rangers of the North Chad. SMDM was the map. Caster was Quick Nix in English, as well as Jig in English. He had two casters on that. And yeah, definitely check those out, guys, because that match right there, probably one of my favorites. Did we get that right? Wait.
Yeah, was it Quick Nix or it was Smithers was casting
Smithers.
that just now, wasn't he?
Make that correction.
I wonder if that got switched up. Anyways.
Yeah, let's change that. It was Smithers on that cast. There was a quick
Okay,
last
yeah.
second change. Okay, so originally it was set to where those two gentlemen would, but Smithers filled in late and did a fine job. Love watching that guy cast. He was awesome. So
All right, so
anyway,
after that, moving on to Division 4. So Division 4 is not in the semifinals yet because there's so many more teams. So they're on week 6.
mhm.
And so for week 6 this past weekend, the first matchup we had was 3-1 10th Mountain versus 4-0 Hellfire on
No,
SME. That's not right. Did
yeah,
I
yeah. We're still week
where
5.
did it why did
Hellfire,
they,
Hellfire's not. I think Hellfire's 1-4. Maybe the producer can hear us and maybe pop up those stats if he can do his magic behind the scenes. But
yeah,
they're
I had that. Yeah,
definitely
we forgot to
not.
change the score on that one. But
Yeah, 10th Mountain I think is 3-2, and I want to say Hellfire might be 1-4, possibly even. So Hellfire has been
yeah.
snake bitten. I know they played Odyssey the last week, and it was one of those maps on SME that was just back and forth, like 8 or 9 times. Again, Smithers with the cast on that as well. But this match with Jig, when did it happen? It
Mhm.
happened. Was it Saturday?
Yeah, most of these matches took place yesterday. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why we're reporting them as having already been done. I think there was 2 matches that weren't done yet. One of them
Yeah.
was with Smithers just now,
There's one
and I forget
about to
which one
go
the other
off in
one
about
was. But
45 minutes. Yeah, one's about to
mhm.
go off in 45 minutes. Anyway, moving on, we have the Condor Legion taking on Ronin. Ronin, to me, like I said, is probably the best team in the 4th division. With, like I said, Odyssey being that dark horse that could potentially be the spoiler. But they're taking on, like I said, Condor Legion on Utah, and the caster was Sinister Snack.
I've done a couple of Ronin matches this tournament season already, and they look so good. Their communication is amazing. They react so fast to everything.
They look like they have fun doing it. They look like they actually have fun doing it. I was just
That's
listening to
right.
some of the comms, and these guys are enjoying their wins too. They're just not just grinding it, but they're having fun doing it.
And that's important. I say so. After that, we had Cobras Fermante up against Odyssey.
Mm.
It was on Kursk Day, and the caster was Smithers. Smithers is like one of our main
He's
guys, man.
everywhere. He's everywhere. You can't be stopped. And Cursed Day, my goodness, man. I wonder what that thing looks like. That thing looks like a mess. I mean, with all the things that don't render in, sheesh, you want to talk about frustration. Anyway, definitely tune in, though. Tune into it. There's, you can see Smithers' stats.
Smithers. Yeah. On top of
Strapping young lad.
casting
Look at him.
multiple matches, he's out there commanding them as well.
Jack of all trades, guy is just undeniable. MVP for sure.
That's right.
And moving on to the very, very last one in Division 4, we've got the Lucky Strikes North American team taking on La Compañía Maldita Spanish team. The map was Carentan, and we had 2 casters on this. We had Sinister Snack and Sultan in Spanish. So that rounds it out for the upcoming matches. So, anyways, yeah, we were about to do the Q&A. And, we didn't get really much feedback, which was kind of odd. I was hoping to see some people send us, or maybe just jump on the Discord and just kind of be a part of this. But we didn't really get anybody. So
Right.
we're just going to chop it up.
Last week we had Smithers in here talking with us, and it was a lot of fun. So if we could just get 1 or 2 of you guys want to come in here and join us for this, it'd be great.
Yeah.
We just sit and chat, tell a few jokes.
Yeah, I'm interested in just talking about what people's predictions are. I mean, everybody likes to have that locker room talk. If we get some banter going, make the playoffs a little more fun and engaging and interesting. We had Sneaky from Odyssey basically slam it down on 10th, saying that what you guys, we have Soprano.
Oh, we have
Well,
Soprano.
Look at that. Hello, Soprano.
Hello.
You heard our call out. So how's it been going, man? How your matches been? He's a caster, guys. To those of you that don't know, Soprano is our guy who takes care of all the matchups. He assigns the matches to the casters and doing a great job with that. So, how have your matches been?
It's pretty hard because I my biggest fear is to select the wrong person, but yeah, it seems fine.
Doing a good job.
Yeah, it's been fine. It is a huge pleasure to be part of this, you know?
Excellent, excellent. So you're looking forward to the playoffs? I know I am. There's a couple teams in the divisions that I wouldn't
Oh,
ordinarily think I would be that interested in, but I'm definitely starting to feel Division Three a lot.
yeah. There was this conversation between me, you, and Hawks that I was really excited to see Division Two, sorry, Division Three and Four. So
Hmm.
yeah, they have been up there for me. It's
Yeah.
I played for Vingarda last season
Uh,
and it was pretty awesome. So I expected to see a lot more fights this year.
it's back and forth. I said it
Yeah.
earlier in the show that the midpoints have been flipping back and forth. I think we need to do like a pool or an over under or something like that. What's the over under on how many times the midpoint's going to flip? Make it a little interesting because I mean I've never seen a like. Who, I think you did the one Guma where it was on Remagen, wasn't it? Where
Oh yeah,
that one
man,
was
like
like
6
ridiculous.
flips.
Yeah, that's all in Division Three, guys. So if you want to watch some of the best matches of the APL, go on to the Discord and go find anything that's in that Division Three. Man, those matches are so fun, like fun to watch. God, I mean,
Mhm.
they're 35s, and that presents a whole different type of strategy. Would you guys agree? Like 35 is a little bit more exciting, a little more. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I
Honestly, go ahead.
Oh, the match on Remagen was yeah, it was one of my favorites because of the how many flips that the midpoint was, and playing bridges it's always awesome because you see a lot of new stuff there to strats to cross the bridge and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, you know. And it was a pretty awesome match.
And for a caster, you don't got to do much work. You just kind of park the damn camera right over the bridge, and you just let the two teams duke it out. And yeah, it was freaking. I was one of those matches. I just didn't want the damn thing to end. It was just too fun. Too bad
That
somebody had to
was.
lose. So anyway, we just pulled up the schedule. You can see right here the only one that's still about to go off, which is the Cobras Formantes, the Brazilian team. They'll be taking on the 4-1 Odyssey group from North America. Like I said, Odyssey to me, guys, dark horse of the fourth division, because I would like to see how they match up against Ronin.
Well, maybe we'll get to find out in a week or so, if the score keeps going the way it is.
Yeah, these guys haven't reached playoffs, like you said, Goom.
Hmm.
They're still playing their regular season out. Now, Soprano, what's it looking like for the playoffs? They're about to start up. Was it after week 8? Week 8 begins for Division 4.
Was pretty hard to like assess all the teams, and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a little bit longer this season, but yeah, it's all for the Div 4 guys. In this is most of those teams there. It's their first comp, so this is an opportunity as well to see how comp.
Yeah, I think it's a great entry level for any teams, communities out there looking to break into the comp scene. It's a lot easier to roster 35 players, and a lot of these teams even pair up and join forces. So yeah, if you want to get a taste of comp, definitely start off Division 4. They're all the way up to Division 1 where they do 49 versus 49, and you can play against the very, very best. So yeah, definitely hop on that APL Discord and ask the questions there. There's plenty of people in the Orga like Soprano here who will guide you and get you pointed in the right direction. So once this third season ends, you guys can reach out. And I'm thinking, like, what is it? Every 6 to 8 months, we'll have another season
Yeah,
going off.
yeah, we are talking, but for now we are just dealing with the stress of this season.
True.
But yeah, for now,
Oh, we got
for
to do it one
now,
more time. Come on, man. We'll, we'll,
yeah,
we'll
for
deal with
now.
it. We'll deal with it. We're
I
we're
think
we're adults here.
I
We'll
think the
figure it out.
36s are going to make a huge difference with keeping this going and keeping these tournaments growing because it's a lot easier to field 36 players. I myself play for a smaller minor team in the European circuit, and like they're just now hitting like 30, 35 players. And the fact that they could potentially play in the APL as opposed to, not being able to play in the ECL yet, I mean, that just draws teams to the APL. Honestly,
Yeah,
you're opening it up for smaller teams.
and this is what we want with APL, like open doors for smaller teams to get their first experience on comp in Hell Let Loose. So yeah, it is smaller teams. If you want to do a alliance or joint forces like Odyssey did, yeah, you guys are always welcome. Like you, doors are open for you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, and I'll finish it on this. The flexibility is what's the most exciting, and there's so many more tactical ways you can play maps when you have 35 players versus a 49. The players on that Division 1 level are so skilled. They put so much prep in. Nothing slips by them. So it becomes very predictable. What Division 3 and 4 offer is that element of surprise, like I was alluding to earlier. So many times the mid cap gets switched. It's exciting. This is going to be a great finish to the APL. I mean, I know APL for Division 1 and 2 are about to have their finals, semifinals and finals, but it's not all over. I mean, tune in for those Division 3 and 4, so they're going to be just as exciting.
Right, Division 4 still goes on for another month yet, so.
And I think we are bound to see a lot of stuff there, like stuff that people get from the other divisions and try to put in place on Division 4. Yeah, I think we are bound to a lot of stuff there.
Nice, nice. Well, Soprano, I want to appreciate you for coming on, man, jumping on last minute and helping us out. Feel free to do it next week when we do the breakdown for the semifinals and finals.
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you for inviting me. Thank you, everyone, on being on doing the good work that you guys are, and have a great one.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
So
Soprano doing lots of work for the organization for us. So appreciate him coming and talking to us.
Yeah, with teams dropping out and then having to rearrange the schedule. He's doing a great job. That's a pain. Tough job. It's never.
That's right.
Like you set something and you think it's done and then it's not done. So
right. And he's on top of it. He's got to regulate the chats too.
Yeah, the chat is always a mixed bag of treats. Locking it and then unlocking
it. It's
expected. The memes are great. You got to walk in there and just take a look at all the shit that they've.
Right. Sometimes you walk in and you walk right back out. You're just like, I'll come back later.
Yeah. So I mean, any shout outs before we get out of here? I mean, we're about to wrap this bad boy up.
Honestly, I just want to, give a quick shout out to all the casters, doing all their hard work.
True.
Try to make sure that all of the teams are being represented, because I mean, there's been a few times where, they send out message saying, this team doesn't have a caster. Can anybody pick it up? And naturally Smithers leaps on it. So
yeah, we all pulled together and it's nice. I mean, I think it was Quick Nicks that mentioned that, all the times he's done casts in the multiple leagues, he said that the APL is, provides the most support, and that feels good because our guy right here behind the scenes, Axe Hawk, is making a lot of this happen. He's the man with the plan behind the scenes, and the overlays look fantastic. The ticker looks amazing, and it looks real professional, and people are noticing it, and the casters appreciate it. So
agreed.
Nice. Well, that'll about wrap it up for this week of the APL. Week 5, man. Week 5.
Yeah.
APL
I know.
Week 5 Insider. So from Gadarian, my man Gumo right over there. Have a great night. Take care. See you on the next one.
Right. That was a good one.
Welcome to the APL Insider. Here we'll be breaking down all the plays. Yours, Gadarian, the Gumo train. Then we'll be breaking down all the plays.